Jeff Grubb revealed on his show just earlier that Microsoft and Hideo Kojima have signed a letter of intent, which is basically our lawyers haven't finalized the paperwork yet, but we're going to do something together. And that letter of intent outlines something along the lines of that the product is cloud-based, so he's going to be doing something that utilizes Microsoft's kind of resources beyond just the console. There's no indication that Microsoft will actually directly invest in Kojima Productions, which is his production house, but the deal is pending legal finalizing documents, and the partnership is to let Kojima, this is apparently the idea, as Microsoft is simply letting Kojima have free reign, using whatever Microsoft technology that he wants to, without saying something like specifically green-lighting a very specific project. So it's not that Kojima came to them with a game idea and they greenlit it. It was, we want to work with Hideo Kojima. Here's our technology. Go have some fun. Come back when you've got FedEx Simulator 2.0.
Kojima, at this point, for me, is the M. Night Shyamalan of the video game industry, and I'm
he hasn't made an Avatar: The Last Airbender yet, though.
No, he hasn't. But
is it coming?
What he is he's very pretentious, and he thinks he's suave. Like, he thinks he's like, it's hard for me to explain. This guy just, I'm not saying he makes bad games, because I mean, you know, he's a legend in his own right. Same with M. Night Shyamalan. I mean, he's a legend in his own right. I don't know
if he has like a huge ego, but he is definitely like an artsy, a very artsy fartsy kind of guy.
I think the fact that they have a letter of intent and they're gonna let him do whatever he wants, bro. Listen, he ain't signing no deal with Microsoft. If Microsoft is saying, listen, man, we got to oversee what you're doing. We got to make sure, like, these are the guidelines. The only way they're getting this guy is if it's literally, hey, give me a blank check. Tell me what exactly I can use, and I'm going to go and create something amazing for you. And then ultimately, when it comes out, there's going to be a little sub group of people, just like M. Night Shyamalan. They're going to be like, this is genius. And then there's going to be the vast majority of people that go, we didn't ask for this. We didn't need this in our life. It's not bad, but this ain't it. And the shtick is getting old. That's how I feel about this guy now. Hopefully he can come out and do something amazing. But I think he's getting in his own way, man. He's just, you know, I don't
disagree with you. I mean, what you just said at the end there of he's getting in his own way, I felt that about him when he first announced, and we were getting the slow drip of updates up to the release of Death Stranding. Where Death Stranding, as it went on, the project when it first started, when we first saw it, it just seemed like another Hideo Kojima production. Was probably going to be pretty good, but probably really heavy on like fucking esoteric cutscenes and shit. Like that was Kojima shit that people were expecting. And then it was like, now that he's on his own, it became like, it was almost like, I don't want to describe it as a midlife crisis kind of moment, but it almost seemed like it because he was like hunting down all of these people in Hollywood that he admired and wanted to work with to try and like befriended them, like Mads Mikkelsen and what's his name from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And then Guillermo del Toro and all, and he just kept name dropping and like everyone was in this fucking game. You know, it's like, let's get Jeff Keighley in here. Let's get fucking like everyone we could possibly squeeze into this game. And it became Norman Reedus, thank you. And it became more about like it almost, and then he started talking about like it's a Strand game, whatever the fuck that is, and like in talking like in this weird Kojima way where it was like, oh my god, has this guy, now that he's been let loose of his chains, have we gone too far? Have we given him too much room to breathe
Yes.
here? Is this a guy?
The
Is this a,
answer,
a
yes.
man? Is this a man who is obviously very good at making phenomenal video games, but he's somebody that needs to be given
Yes.
focus?
Yes. It's like a Ryan Johnson. It's like the Wachowski siblings. It's like the fucking geez. I mean, there's so many directors I could M. Night Shyamalan. The list goes on and on, where they get a success, they have a huge hit, and then you know, they had studio guidance, and then all of a sudden the studio wants to continue to work with them because of their reputation. They put a lot of trust that, like, okay, you know what, I believe. And then of course they get some ego, right? I mean, rightfully so. They're super talented people.
Yeah.
But they feel as though, you know, it's almost like they disregard the things that the studio heads do to kind of keep them focused on time, you know, put that pressure on them. And they it's like they have to work towards something. It's like going on a date for the first time, and you're spending that extra bit of time to make sure, like, you got the right cologne on, and you put mouthwash in your mouth 5 times, and you made sure that every iron is done, and you go out there and you have a great time, and you give your best foot forward, but you're not really being, like, you're being you, but it's like it's tamed.
It's tamed,
you know, it's tamed. And then, you know, over time, when you've gained the trust and you've had some great dates, you've had some good sex, you've done whatever you need to do, all of a sudden you're going to go, you know what? Instead of the cologne this time, I'm actually going to, you know,
I'm just gonna show up in sweatpants.
No, not even. No, not even that. Not even that. You're still going to show up in the nice look, but instead this time you're adding a twist to it. Now you've got a lab of kittens in your basement, and they're the most adorable kitties ever, and they fart, and it smells cute, at least to you. And so you bottle that up and you start spraying yourself with kitty farts, and you think that you're doing something amazing, and you want to tell your date, like, you smell that? That's the smell of kitty farts. These beautiful, look at these cats. And then they realize you're a fucking weirdo, and you need to just stick to whatever it is that you were doing. The package is the same, but now you're trying too hard. You think you're smarter than everybody else, and you got it all figured out, but the reality is you just need what you're at is you're at a 13. We need you to come back down to the 9 where we like you. And now it's like, you know, we've given you too much room. Nobody's told you to not have the cute kitties in your basement while you bottle the farts. Nobody wants you to do that. You think it's cool. You think you're ahead of everything. You think that you're starting a new trend. But in reality, nobody asked for this. Nobody wants kitty farts as cologne. They don't want it. That's where I'm at.
I fucking hate how accurate that analogy is. I fucking hate it.
But you see what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, because like the kitty fart thing is like the Strand game discussion that he had. Whereas like everyone was okay when he was just making like sort of artsy fartsy weird shit with Metal Gear Solid, but it was still under like the focus of making like this stealth third person, you know, action game that's like everyone is likely to like or enjoy.
Yes.
And then he's completely let loose, and
Fuck
it's like
action.
It's like fuck all that shit. I want people to walk across the landscape carrying a baby strapped to their chest with 14 fucking crates above their heads. And talk about it like it's some sort of social game, like some strand game, trying to create a new genre that nobody knows what the fuck I'm talking about. That's
and then there's gonna be morons, right? Or just, I shouldn't call them morons, but there's gonna be fanboys, right? That are like, you know what? That just smells. That smell, it smells like innocence. It smells like purity. It smells like, I can tell that you've been feeding them the highest quality of natural kitty food, and that you've handpicked these kitties that you got from the 7 different continents, and you got one of each, and I can just, there's like a little bit of North American in there, some Africa in there, you know, there's some Australia in there. There's something magical about this, and I think that really just also signifies us coming together as one, as people, and really coming together as human beings. And the fact that he's bottled this up into a fragrance is absolutely stunning. And I know that there's only so much of this fragrance available. Like, you can't just, this isn't something you buy at Walmart. This is something that has taken time and thought, and it's been nurtured, and it's incredible. Meanwhile, the vast majority of people say it smells like shit. I don't know what the fuck this is. You're a fucking weirdo, and I'm calling PETA on you. What are you doing? That's how we really feel. But nobody's man enough to tell him, because it's
because
he's
it's still
because
Kojima.
He's still the guy. He's still the guy, right? It's like the guy that doesn't know yet that, like, everybody's pretending like there isn't a problem. You know, it's like somebody's got a booger in their nose and nobody wants to tell you got a booger in your nose because you're the guy or you're the gal. But in reality, people just need to say, bro, wipe your nose, man. We still like you, but get the shit out of your nose, bro. Nobody wants this. Like, please, if you're going to put this shit in, like, put your fucking perfume in there where we can't smell it, you know? Just sprinkle it in there, but give us the shit we want. And then in 10 years, you can tell everybody you didn't notice it, but I sprinkled some kitty fucking fragrance in there. And then you'll have a few people go, you know what?
That's genius.
I actually was thinking to myself, there's something going on here. I didn't realize it makes sense. Do it that way. Don't be noisy about it. This guy, he's M. Night Shyamalan, bro, of the video game industry right now. That's how I feel about him.
Well, hopefully he doesn't go full M. Night Shyamalan, because we all know how full M. Night Shyamalan went. He went.
Yeah, don't go there.
He went unchecked a little too long.
Yeah.
That man started with something great, and then, my God, did he go off the rails. So let's hope that it doesn't get to that point.
What's nice about M. Night Shyamalan, though, is when he went off the rails and the studios were like, you were the guy, and you were making like $50 million movies that were grossing $1 bajillion. You were the man. All right. Everybody talked about the M. Night Shyamalan ding dong twist at the end, and it's great. And then when he tanked, like, a couple times in a row, real hard, the studios were like, nah, this ain't it. So it got to the point where M. Night then got desperate, and he had no money. Like, he has the money because he's M. Night Shyamalan, but nobody was greenlighting his stuff. So he had to start doing his own movies and forking up the money for everything. And then when he finally did that, and he forked it up, and people were like, no, we don't want nothing to do with you, he started honing it back in. And he started going, okay, I need to not do whatever the fuck I was getting a little too crazy. And then he honed it back in, because he's a genius writer when he wants. He's even got a new movie coming out here very soon that actually looks intriguing, like every other M. Night Shyamalan movie. The question is he going to go off the rails? Or are we going to get Metal Gear Solid M. Night Shyamalan? Who knows? It's a fucking coin flip with this guy at this point, right?
I mean, so my only thing is that, or like more recently, Death Stranding was a complete shit show. What he did before Death Stranding with PT, which was the demo for Silent Hills that then got canceled by Konami because they're run by literal morons. Him working with Guillermo del Toro on that's like the perfect, because now you've got del Toro checking and balancing, and really Guillermo del Toro is riding he's riding it. He hasn't he didn't get so much mainstream success that they gave him complete free reign. He's still kind of like he's not obviously not an indie darling, but he's still very hipster's fucking, a writer, director, whatever you want to, whatever kind of thing you want to call him. But it was, for whatever reason, those two combined somehow produced really good shit. So Kojima's got it in him, but like you said, you got to maybe give him some direction, keep him on some rails. He's still going to be a little weird, but it will be in a much more palatable situation. I guess, Death Stranding was fucking wild, bro. That was like that even for somebody that kind of enjoys some weird out there shit and likes to like look for the things and see where the connections are, that was like I didn't even go near that game with a fucking
Kitty farts, bro. Kitty farts.
300-foot pole.
It's kitten farts.
That's probably the title of the podcast now.
Kitten farts.
Kitten farts.